Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. We are continuing work on our 57mm anti-tank gun, and my good buddy Cal had a pair of used 9x16 NDT tires that he wasn't using out of his spare pile. So we rooted through, found a nice matched pair, and we're going to use those to install. I've got new flaps and new tubes to put in, and we're gonna send the rims out, have them sandblasted, and then of course I'm going to show you how we paint them. As a matter of fact, at this point I've already got them all done, so you'll be seeing this in advance a little bit, but we'll show you how we ended up getting these painted up and looking good. And we're going to finish up with getting the tubes and flaps and rings all installed and getting these tires aired up and back on the 57mm anti-tank gun. So that's what's going to come up on this episode of Green Iron TV. So like always, please give us a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching, and make sure you take a moment, check out the link down below for the Green Iron TV merchandise store. Hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of nice things in there. So check that out, pick something up, and we thank you guys for watching. All right, our rims have come back from Media Blaster, and they're looking pretty decent. So we're going to go ahead and get them in primer and eventually in paint. So these should look pretty decent. Okay, and just like the last time we painted some of the vehicles, we're going to be using our Gillespie. I am going to paint this 24087. It is not a proper color for World War II because it is a semi-gloss and not a matte. But it's going to be just fine. Also, it's what I have in stock. So we are going to get this all mixed up. Just making sure that this partial can, has a good stir on it. Okay, and we're going to mix 3 parts paint, 1 part xylene, just like we've done before. Okay, we'll mix the xylene. Give that a good stir. Okay, add this to our paint cup. Loaded in, all ready to spray. All right, not my favorite painting conditions. We are going to paint these inside in the garage here. It is a little too windy out there tonight to paint outside, and the temperature's dropping pretty quickly. It's getting cold out there real quick, so we will paint these inside, and then once we get some paint, we'll open the door, let it ventilate a little bit, and it should be just fine. It's not the first time I've painted in the garage. We'll let that dry up for a little bit. And put a second coat on. Yep. And we got enough to do another light second coat on. And I am spraying this pretty heavy. It is a set of wheels, and I want it to be nice and heavy because there is going to be some banging on them to put stuff together. So we're going heavy. Okay, one of the first things we want to do is we want to get our tube and our flap into the tire, and then from there we can get it positioned on the rim and try and get the ring on. So when it's a brand new tube like this, what I like to do is give it just a touch of air. Not a ton, just kind of enough that it helps kind of position and get the tube kind of into shape a little bit. So from there we can then go ahead and start stuffing it in the tire. All right, now that we have it in the tire, I like to give it a little more air, and that just kind of helps untwist the tube. All right, as you can see that now that has the tube sitting in there pretty good, and it's not all twisted up. So now we can position this flap. So as I'm doing this, I'm just kind of pinching top and the bottom and getting it stuck in. And it might be a little easier to stand it up. Work it all around. So we get it. See, like this wrinkle here. Work that wrinkle out. Alright, now that we got it nice and smooth, now we can get it on the rim. And I am going to grab a little silicone spray, and we're just going to spray that in there to help lubricate it a little bit. Alright. So we got a can of silicone spray. We're just going to spray in there real heavy. We do it on both sides. And that will help let this slide on. Alright, so we got our tire, our wheel and ring. And the joy is that I did paint these several days ago, so that was one of the things I wanted to make sure that I got them to have a couple good days to dry and cure good before we kind of hammer them in here. And so this is always the tricky part. And that is getting it positioned and slipped over the valve stem. Alright, now we got it started in the valve stem. Alright, let's... Anyway, might have to let just a little bit more of that air out. Let's see if that helped me. Yeah, let's grab a tire spoon. Use a couple of my tire irons here. And let's see if we can hook this in. There, it slid. Now to get this drop down, and I may need to put this up on some blocks of wood or something. There, whew. Now we should be able to push it down. Stiff old tire, whew. Alright. So we gotta try and get this to suck down a little further. We might have to. All right, kind of acts like we're catching on the lip here, so let's see what I'm going to have to do. Okay, so one of the problems we're having with these tires is these particular rims have this extra safety lip here. And they're not like the M Series wheels where this is all smooth and just has the big lip. So this has this, you can kind of see it in the profile here, this lip. And so what I'm having a problem with, these tires are so old and stiff, and they're used to being out here at this width, all right, is trying to get them pushed down over this so that we can get the lock ring snapped in. So I might have to just get the tubes in them, get them set on here, and I might have to actually just take them into work, use our big tire machine at work, and use the bead breaker and push in here and get these to snap over that lip so that it gives us the room to be able to put these rings on. So unfortunately, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I'll put the tube and flap in this other tire, slip it on the ring or on the rim here, and then we'll take them into work. All right, use the machine. We got the beads all pushed down and ready to put the rings on. All right, so we're home from work. Like I said, we took these two to work, used the tire machine to work to push on that bead, push it down. I went ahead and just seated the rings. If you want to see how that's done, you can look at the older video I did to get the rings all seated in. Pretty simple to do. Now we're going to do the difficult thing, which is air these tires up. So we are outside, away from everything, and we are going to use a remote clip-on air chuck that we can clip on, and then we can remotely control the air from farther back, and that way we're away from them safe. We've also put straps on them for safety, so if something were to start to come apart, hopefully the straps will catch it. So let's get these things aired up and all set. All right. So like I said, we got a clip on, and let's put some air to it. Okay, so we're all beaded up. The beads came up nicely, and we'll let this tire sit. Yep, slid on the back side, and we'll do the same now for the other one. And we got to pick up our valve cap where I dumped that out to. And we'll find it in a second. All right, so we heard that one pop up as well. So now we have them both all beaded up. Rings are all seated, so now there's no way for the rings to come apart. And so we'll go ahead and we'll get these back inside, and then we'll air them up to the proper pounds. Get them back on the cannon. Okay, we got the 2 tires inflated, ready to roll. I've pumped them up to 35 pounds of pressure, which is what I think is going to be a good pressure for this. You know, it's a heavy cannon piece, so we'll go ahead now and break out the impact and buzz these 2 on and get it back on its wheels. Trying to get these to center up, and the taper is not that great. Alright. Yeah, that gets us one. All right. Probably the first time in 60 years it's sitting on tires that hold air. Okay, folks, that'll wrap up this episode of Green Iron TV. I'm glad to get the can back on some functioning wheels. Let it roll, and now we can continue to work on this thing. Probably the first time in 60, 70 years that this thing's been sitting on wheels with air in the tires that aren't all rotted out. So next we'll work on getting this thing outside, getting some heavy duty power washing done on it so that we can get it cleaned up, get all the nooks and crannies cleaned, and then we need to get it over to the sandblaster, and we're going to get this thing stripped down so we can get to working on painting it before the weather turns on us and it gets too cold. So so we're going to keep picking away at this thing, and you know, like always, thanks for watching, and of course, you know, please hit the like button, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done that, and make sure you take a moment, check out the link down below for the Green Iron TV merchandise store. Hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, sticker packs, all kinds of nice stuff in there. So check that out, and we appreciate you guys watching. So thanks a lot, and you guys have a great day.